Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do the last DIY Dollar Tree Farmhouse Easter egg series. We're going to do moss covered eggs and we're going to decorate them 3 ways. I'm going to show you 3 different techniques. Again, just like in the last videos, we're going to use some plastic eggs, large, small, whatever size you want. And then we're going to use some moss. You can use reindeer moss, floral moss. You could even do Spanish moss. They're just going to look old and brown. And then one of the techniques, we're going to use regular school glue. One of the techniques, we're going to use spray glue. And this is Aleene's tacky glue I got at Walmart. And then for the last technique, we'll just use regular old hot glue. And of course, your scissor. So the first thing I wanted to tell you is I had the tacky glue in the cover of the tacky glue standing inside the cap of a spray glue can. But then I ended up just pouring the glue into the cap of the spray glue can. And then I coated the egg and I dipped it in the bag of moss. Now, Sarah Jane from Chic on the Cheap. Hi, Sarah Jane. I don't know why I didn't think of this. She takes a box and she cuts up all her moss and she just works out of a shoe box or a cardboard box. I had all my moss in this Ziploc bag and I was like, why am I always taking it out of the Ziploc bag? Whatever. So I followed her example. I tore up and cut up the moss and just shredded it. I also mixed some floral moss and reindeer moss as well. And then once I coated the egg with the glue, this is just straight glue, it's not watered down and it's not Mod Podge. I went ahead and I just rolled the egg in the moss, okay? And then what I did was I took my paintbrush and wherever there was like holes or holidays, my dad used to say, right? You dab on some extra glue and you just dab on some extra moss. Then you want to set it aside because this glue has to dry, okay? Now when you use the white glue and the spray glue, it does make tacky fingers, so you want to like clean up between, and that's really what I was doing. But for the second one, we're going to go ahead and we're just going to use straight hot glue. And I told you now I'm adding the reindeer moss to the floral moss that I had left over, and I'm mixing them together. It's going to give you a similar texture, a color, but different textures, which is nice. And then I either ripped it up with my fingers, I went in there with my scissors. I will tell you that I'm probably going to end up getting a plastic shoe box from the Dollar Tree and just keeping my moss in there. I think it'll be a big enough area to work in for whatever project we have. And this way, whenever I buy moss, I could just keep adding it to the shoe box and I won't have to worry about cleaning it up so much. So then what I did was I just added a section of hot glue, spread it out with the side of my glue gun, dipped it into the moss bag, did a different section, dipped it in the moss bag. And just like we've covered stuff with moss before, you want to go ahead and you want to pack it tight, trim to shape, and all of the things that go along with working with all of the moss. And then I like that I can trim it right back into the bag, and it does, you know, it's not 100% mess free, but boy, it is a lot less messy to do it this way. So thank you, Sarah Jane. Awesome, awesome tip. All right. And then just fill in any holes as you go along, just like we've done lots of projects I've told you before in the past, okay? Now, just like I mentioned in other videos, but maybe this is your first one of the series that you're watching, so hi, my name's Jeri-Ann. The different decorating techniques on these 3 eggs can be mixed matched. Can be mixed matched, that's right. Can be swapped out. Sorry, can be swapped out for any of the other decorating techniques in the other videos. So if you make a moss egg and you really want to cover it with a black and white check, or tie a black and white check bow on it, oh, you guys know what I'm saying. I just wanted to basically show you the dozen eggs, the different finishes, as well as different trim techniques. I didn't tell you about any of the embellishments in the beginning because I'm doing such a variety, but of course whatever embellishments you want to work with. Okay, now this one is the spray glue egg. So what I've done again is made sure that the moss that was in there is all broken up. I fold the tops of the bag back, but when I have a bucket, this will be easier. And I really just sprayed it while it was in there. I figured whatever overspray went onto whatever moss would be okay, because then it would just stick to the egg. And then I just continued, I repeated, I went around it. I really like the Aleene's tacky glue, I beg your pardon. Because when I was younger, I used to work with the 3M tacky glue, and this or spray glue, and this actually reminds me the most of it. You can do dry mount techniques and all those things with this, so I really like it. All right, and then was $4.88, but I have had it for a while. I've used it for many projects, and I feel like it's going to last me a lot longer than actually buying craft glue. All right, and then that's all covered. Same thing. Squeeze it tight, trim to shape, and all of those things. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to take some jute and we're going to put 3, 4, 7 wraps around just to make it haphazard. I kind of wanted it to look, well, I kind of wanted it to look homemade, but I just wanted it to be haphazard. I didn't want it to be neat and decorated neatly. Then I just tied a little bow on there. And then what I did was I took 2 pieces of lavender and I just took the plastic purple tips off. I liked the way those look, and I tucked them underneath the bow. You can glue if you want to, or you can just tuck it and change it out as time goes by. These I feel like these moss eggs would be really, really cute if you had like a little tiny note hanging from them. I don't know why I feel that way. But you can see here, I just ended up tucking them under the little bows. I wanted to see if maybe you could do like a whole flower. I think we did a whole flower, tied a whole flower on a couple of days ago on one of the bows. But then for here, I just thought it would be cuter if I just took the little purple ends and just tucked them underneath the bow. But you see how I have it wrapped there a couple of times where it's not really lined up. I like that look. But, you know, again, any look, any one of these trim techniques you can do to eat any one of the eggs, go for it. I'd love to see what you guys come up with. All right. And then one for the other side. And I don't know what it is about that green and purple that I really like. So you go ahead if you want to glue it, if you want to just stick it under the bow, however you want to work it. But I added just a tiny bit of hot glue right there. Now for the next one we're going to wrap some Dollar Tree wire edged ribbon around. We did a very similar technique with the polka dot ribbon. I'm just going to do a little bit of a different bow on this one. So basically I trimmed off the wire edges. I trimmed a piece of the burlap just as wide as you want it to go around the middle, and then I glued that in place. Just right around the middle, kind of where the seam would be. I did a couple of like samples where I held if you wanted to decorate your egg in the other direction, but I don't know, I just feel like around the middle here is the way to go. All right, and of course I pre-measured the ribbon, but then it didn't fit, so don't ask me why. I really don't even know. So what I decided to do was I decided to create a bow. I sort of took this is a nod to Melissa from 4/4 Crafts, how she makes bows sometimes where she glues the loop separate, she keeps the tails separate so she can really position them where she wants. And then she takes the little middle section and wraps it around the bow. So this video is throwback to all my girls. So hi Melissa if you're watching. And then I just used a little bit of hot glue and I glued the center loop to itself because you can adjust the bow this way. All right, so I'm just adjusting the loops. I'm making that part centered and I just pinched the middle. You guys know I do that before I glue the middle on. All right, and then I'm going to take that last little piece that's left over. I'm going to cut it in half on a diagonal, and this way I'll have 2 pieces that are cut diagonally. And then I'll glue them right to the center under where we're going to glue the bow. And again, you can dog ear them, you can dovetail them, any way you want to cut the ends of your ribbon, please feel free. And then I just glued the bow on there in the middle. All right, and there's that one's set aside. And now for the final one, which is kind of my favorite. This is a little bit of throwback to our moss bunny from 2018, where we covered a bunny in moss and then we put all these little tiny flowers all over him. We're going to kind of throw back to that. So what I'm doing is I'm also going to take some of this lavender. Basically, I cut the two little purple tips off, the two blossoms that I cut the tips off. I went ahead and I pulled all the flowers off of them. These flowers are just shaped like a flower. They have a hole in the middle, and they kind of have a cup shape where their petals fall over them. So what I did was I just randomly, and I didn't really randomly, you guys know me, they're in an order, but I randomly put some glue on to the egg, and then I took my tweezer and I picked up the flower petal and stuck it right in the glue dot with the cup towards the egg. Okay, I did make a pattern. I kind of tried to lay them in a triangle pattern. First I set a one row. I basically went one row diagonally, and then once I had that, I went ahead and I made a triangle. So I have those two, and I made one over here. That's a third, and then one down there. That makes another triangle, and so on and so forth. I like the toothpick, what's that thing called? A tweezer technique, because the petals are so small. You want to make sure you get them in the glue without gluing your fingers. And I also didn't want to knock any moss off, and it worked out really, really well. I don't use them all that often, but I do keep them right there on my craft area. All right. And then I just went around the entire egg, because this is one of those 360 eggs. All the other ones really have a front and a back, but this one you can basically put in an egg cup or an egg stand. I have these beautiful egg stands that I was just gifted from Ann, and they are really beautiful. She got them at the Target dollar spot. So I might just stick one of them in there, which I think the pink one would be really cute with these little blossoms. But that's just me. That's my opinion. Okay? And once I've gone all the way around, I'm actually going to embellish the flowers some more. You could just stop here, 100%. You could also cut tiny little petals of leaves and tuck one into each flower, which I was thinking about doing because the green on the petals for the lavender is much lighter than the moss, and that would look really cute as well. But I decided to go ahead and girl it up a little bit. So I got this package of egg decorating things from the Dollar General. But basically, I'm just going to use the pearl stickers. Now, I could swear up and down, left and right, backwards and forwards that I had white pearl stickers in my collection, but I found red and I found blue, and I did not find white. So I said, oh, there's some white pearl stickers in this little kit. So I went ahead and I pilfered them. And basically, I just took one of the little pearl stickers and I stuck it in the center of each one of the flower blossoms. I didn't feel like I needed to add extra hot glue, but I will tell you that two of them fell off. Well, technically, two of them got stuck to other things. But I think it was just my fault. I don't think I pushed them down enough. But I just was very careful to push one in the center of each of the little blossoms. I thought that was the perfect touch. Now, the Dollar Tree does sell little pearl beads. They're a little bit big. The ones that I got are a little bit big for this application. You really, really want the teeny tiny ones. They also sell seed beads, which would be cute if you wanted to add a little color. All right. And then, now this is only at 2 times speed, so I am, you guys like to see me do the embellishment, so I'm going to hang into that. But then once you're done with all of them, you could add a bow if you wanted to. You could add a hanger. Any of these that you wanted to glue a jute hanger on, they are so lightweight that you really could make these into ornaments. That's entirely, any of these eggs that we made in the series, you can make into ornaments. So the last thing I wanted to show after we're done here, and before we finish the video, is I wanted to show you how I made my nest. I took the pedestal from the center of my coffee table, which I've had for many, many years. Southern Home Living used to have an at-home party. I bought this from. I took a willow wreath that I got at the 99-cent only store. It was 99 cents. This one I like because it's very grassy, as opposed to the ones from the Dollar Tree are very twiggy grapevine wreaths. I don't know why. Don't ask me. And then I've taken some of this green Excelsior. I got it from the Dollar Tree, and I just went to go add it to layers, and I was trying to mix it in with the Spanish moss. I know that the birds around here do all sorts of a collection of things that they put in their nests. And one of the tips that I have that I had gotten from someone else on the internet was the Spanish moss sometimes is a long string. So if you feel around your Spanish moss, you might be able to find a long section that's already tangled. If you haven't, then you can go ahead and twist it up and make a long tangle. And then if you see there, it almost looks like a nest with just the Spanish moss added to the willow wreath. And then I just basically mixed it up. I tried to blend a little bit of color in with my fingers, some Spanish moss in with the green. All of the eggs would have stood out against the green except for the moss eggs. So I want to make sure that when I do put the moss eggs there, if they're there by themselves, I just put the Spanish moss in the center first. Okay, but if you do all of the eggs, if you do all the different eggs, then whichever ones you want to display, however you want your nest to go. But I love the willow wreath, I love the Spanish moss idea, and I added the green excelsior just for extra zhuzh. Okay, and then here it is with the moss eggs. I hope you guys really enjoyed this tutorial, and I really do hope you enjoyed this series. If you do, please give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to share with friends and family, anybody you know might be interested in making these or any of them in the series. And here's how they look on my centerpiece of my table now. I have the combination going. So hopefully you guys really enjoyed this. And as always, you take care, God bless, and we'll see you next time. Bye. And don't forget to stop by the vlog channel. Link is in the description box down below. Bye.